So Vex Mythoclast, probably one of the most iconic weapons in Destiny history.
I'm Vex, dude.
Yes! Vex! Vex! Yes! Yes!
Is getting a massive glow up with the June 9th update. Today, I'm going to go over how good a glow up this actually is and discuss why Vex Mythoclast might be one of the strongest primaries in Destiny 2. Let's get into it. First off, let's talk about the changes that are happening to Vex on June 9th. So the intrinsic perk Timeless Mythoclast is now being changed from just being able to fire in full auto to a potent version of rewind rounds. Essentially, when you're firing gun, the amount of hits that you get once the ammo is depleted, your magazine will reload from its reserves depending on how many hits you get. Rewind rounds is already a potent perk. Now if this is a more buffed up version, I can't imagine you're actually going to have to ever reload with Vex Mythoclast. On top of that, precision kills in its linear fusion mode now trigger an ignition. When you leave that linear fusion mode, your magazine will be fully reloaded, and then there's some general buffs to how it looks on your HUD. But additionally, the catalyst is getting changed, where instead of a rampage, where you actually need a kill to trigger the buff, it will be more like a frenzy, that the longer that you're in combat, the longer that you're damaging enemies, this rampage buff will bring up. Pair that rampage buff, it's basically like rampage and frenzy had a baby. Now pair that buff with rewind rounds and then linear fusion shots generate an ignition. It's fantastic. It's going to be so powerful just in this state alone. But Bungie are also doing a pass on several other things as well. So they're giving Vex Mythoclast intrinsic anti-barrier rounds, and at the same time they're buffing the exotic damage from 30% to 40%. But also on top of that, they're buffing fusion rifle and linear fusion rifle damage across the board, which means Vex Mythoclast will get a 7% PvE damage scaler because it fires just now, its charge time fits into the rapid fire frame, and then its linear fusion damage mode will gain a 10% PvE damage scaler buff. So when you add all that together, you are left with a weapon that does insane damage and intrinsically deals with anti-barriers and can fire those linear fusion shots, which are quite potent as well. But this is not the complete picture. There's another piece of the pie we need to discuss here, and that is particle reconstruction. We know that we're getting artifacts from seasons past, and one of these is the Tablet of Ruin. Now, particle reconstruction appeared on a Tablet of Ruin. The Tablet of Ruin was artifact from Season of the Heresy, so the Oryx season. Now, what particle reconstruction does is it's a stack-based debuff. So, per each hit, you'll get a stack of particle reconstruction on an enemy. This debuff can be applied to multiple enemies at the same time, but for each stack of particle reconstruction, they took increased damage. So one stack was 5%, 2 was 10, 3 was 15, 4 was 21, and then ultimately 5 was just over 27% of a damage increase. And then on top of that, you could add the Void Weaken effect on top of particle reconstruction, which would give you a total damage increase of 46.76%. And this can be applied with just your primary that fires in full auto, that's getting a 10% damage increase plus a 7% PV damage scaler and then a 10% PV damage scaler in linear fusion rifle mode. Like, it's insane. This is mad. Vex Mythoclast is going to be so busted. And that's not even the tip of the iceberg. Because particle reconstruction debuffs all fusion rifles, you can have Vex Mythoclast in your primary, and then you can have a rapid fire fusion in your special, and you can also have a linear fusion for your heavy. So think of how much damage you'll be able to output with this, and it's very beginner friendly to do. It is going to be so easy and so busted. 2 shout outs for what to use for your special. Because rapid fire fusion rifles deal the best DPS, you could put something on like Scatter Signal, which has overflow and controlled burst, or you can have newly reprised Riptide, which can get overflow and chill clip if you want to do some champ stunning with overloads. And then for linear fusions, depending on if you want to double dip damage buffs with like solar fonts, you could have the Old Faithful with Cataclysmic, which can roll with 4 times a charm and beta switch, but you could also do Briar's Contempt, which has got access to Reconstruction plus the newly buffed Focus Fire, where you get a 20% damage increase for hitting 35% of your shots in the magazine as precision hits. But if you don't want to double dip into font increased damage, then your options are endless. Want to run double strand? Then you should use Scintillation, which can roll rewind rounds and bait and switch along with Vest Stinger, which can increase your charge time and put in some ammo into your mag. Or if you want to run double stasis, if you're using Riptide, then you can use Reed's Regret, which will be newly tiered from the Trials loot pool, which can get bait and switch and triple tap as well. Or if you're not bothered about the element, then you can use Mistral Lift, which has Envious Arsenal and bait and switch along with Vice Stinger. Or you could even do Line in the Sand, which is get deconstruct and bait and switch if you're doing, say, the boss from Sundered Doctrine that's just a massive shrieker. You could do that, so the possibilities are endless. But let's just theorycraft a build so you can kind of get an idea of what you're working with. So here I've just got a build that I've thrown together. So I've got Scatter Signal, which you'll be able to tier as well under the new crafting rules, Vex Mythoclast and Scintillation with Reround and Bait and Switch. And then for my class I'm on Prismatic. I've got Drenger's Lash and Unbreakable with Hammer of Soul. Reason being is I want to get Restoration on all pickup, and then I'm using the Stoicism with Spirit of the Horn and Spirit of the Abatement, so that when I use my class ability I will ignite and suspend enemies all around me. So damage resist, Facet of Courage, when darkness debuffed they take more light damage. Facet of Ruin, bigger ignitions. Facet of Dominance, your Void Grenade weakens. So I've got a Suppressor Grenade. Remember I was talking about how Particle Reconstruction can do up to 47% damage when paired with Weaken. So that's why I've got that. And then Facet of Purpose for Restoration on odd pickup. And then Facet of Hope, while you have an elemental buff, your class ability regenerates more quickly, which would allow me to have more of the Abaean Horn class barricades. And then I've got some footage here in Arena Ops. I've not got a Void Grenade as I forgot to put it on, but hey ho. So yeah, triple fusion with Particle Reconstruction with all the buffs that Vex Mythoclast and fusion rifles in general are getting. Vex Mythoclast is going to be one of the best primaries in the game, hands down. There's going to be so much to talk about, so many builds to do with the amount of access we're getting with 7 different artifacts. This is just a build I threw together in 5 minutes. It's not to say that it's going to be top tier, melt everybody. I just like Abaean and Spirit of the Horn, I always have. But when June 9th comes out, expect me to do a couple of builds centered around Mythoclast, because I believe that it's going to be that potent. It's going to be so good for dealing with champs, it's going to be so good for debuffing for other fusion rifles, and the damage it's going to be able to do by itself, it's going to be broken. Anyway, hopefully I've convinced you that when June 9th comes round, you give Vex Mythoclast a shout. It's going to be really good. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a like, really helps me out and I would greatly appreciate it. If you're new here, feel free to subscribe. I'll be doing a lot of Destiny content over the next couple of months just to say goodbye in my own little way. I really appreciate your time, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you soon for more Destiny 2 content. All the best, cheers.